Any update on Andrew?
He will not practice today, so he's making progress. I'd put him in day to day.
Anyone else?
Just gonna give Waller a vet day. He's good. We're gonna give him a vet day. He'll practice. Yep. Everybody else will practice.
How'd Daniel come out of that game? He took a lot of hits.
Yeah, every game I think the quarterbacks are fairly sore. He had some running, but he's good, ready to go.
What do you do if what's your thought process if Andrew Thomas isn't going to be available on Sunday?
Yeah, well, we'll practice some guys out here, and we'll be ready to go once Sunday rolls around.
Would you consider Evan on the left?
I'd say we consider a lot of stuff, Pat. That's probably not one of them.
What do you consider your options at the left side?
I'd say we got enough guys to go out here and get some reps, so we'll take a look at it here in the next few days.
You had Joshua Zuda play left tackle.
Sure.
How did he do?
He did good. He's been practicing there for a while. You guys haven't seen it, but we practice him. We move guys around, and he's certainly an option at that spot too.
After the other night, what's the challenge for you and your staff, or particularly you as you stand in front of the team, and just to try to purge that?
Yeah,
and
you just
take what you get out of it.
Yeah, you teach it, you learn from it, you move on. Get ready for next week, or this week, should I say?
Does the fact that you have another game so short after this one affect how you manage, say, Andrew in particular, any injury situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say, we kind of worked back from that, and now obviously with more injuries, there's certainly discussions about that amongst the training staff and the sports science, and I'll let those guys handle that right now. So ours is straight on Arizona. That's all.
When you say Azudu was practiced for a while at left tackle?
Yeah, last couple weeks.
You mean, okay.
Yeah.
It's week 2. It's a vet day for Darren Waller. Why does he need a vet day in week 2?
Well, that's something we've planned all along, even really since we got him with the sports science, the medical staff. Those guys that are over 30 and have had a lot of wear and tear that have played, we're going to give him a rep day. It'll probably be once a week.
That was before the.
That's a regular thing.
Yeah, it's a regular thing.
That was before the hamstring.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Shep will have one probably tomorrow. So there's a few guys that we've talked about. I'd say even as training camp's going on, and try to have a plan here.
With that hamstring popping up, does that change anything? How you manage? I know you said this was planned, but you have to be more cautious now.
No, I think he's good to go. But I think that was the plan going into it. Whether it was going to be a Wednesday or a Thursday, that's stuff we discussed probably before the last couple of weeks of where we were at. So, today I think he'll be listed as with his hamstring, but he's getting a vet day.
What other guys? You mentioned Shep. Are there any other?
Right now, no, those two guys. And that will be reserved. We'll see how the games go and how many snaps people play. And we've done it with Dexter and other people, but
no one else is on.
Not right now.
What kind of a summer in camp do you think Matt Pert had?
Kind of like everybody. I think he's improved in some areas. It's early part of the season. We'll keep on improving, and knows what to do, and did some good things. And other than that, we'll just keep on working with him.
Darren said after the game he's got a nerve issue in the hamstring, and that's what it's been, all along. Same hamstring. So how much of a lingering concern is that? You don't really hear guys talk a lot about a nerve issue per se there.
I'd just say he's done a good job throughout camp. We've taken care of him the right way. He's taken care of himself. So, we'll do everything we can to keep him as healthy as we can.
Yeah, I didn't hear what Charlotte asked earlier. Did she ask about Graham Gano?
Oh, Graham. Yeah, Graham will be out there. He'll be limited, but he'll be fine.
What did he? Was it his calf?
It was his ankle.
His ankle.
Yep.
Okay.
Got rolled up on there at the end.
What have you seen from your group in regards to how they've approached, coming back from that kind of loss or watching that film the other day? And what was your approach with the film? Was it, we're going to sit here and go over every little thing, or was it kind of just let's jump in?
No, it's the same thing whether you win or lose. Again, obviously it was a bad loss. We understand that, but you teach it, you show the stuff, you see where we could have fixed some things, and then you fix them, and then once you come in on Wednesday, it's full head of steam on the team you're playing.
I know you kind of touched on it the other day, the idea of, when you look at the lineup to make changes between games, that kind of thing. When you spend so much time in the summer getting to that point for week 1, does timing in the season play as well, knowing that it is just, it's week 1 going into week 2?
Yeah, I think what you do is you kind of evaluate the whole body of work, preseason stuff, training camp, and also obviously the first game. But you don't sit and just wait around. If you think you need to do something, that's the job. You got to do it. And we have those discussions. We'll probably have them all the way up until Friday night, which is why it's an important week of practice for some of these younger guys.
Dave's on that first drive the other night.
Yeah.
You guys got it rolling pretty good. You had Saquon involved, obviously, early. And Dan, you ran a couple of times over there. I think maybe at least 2 anyway. Were those designed or
No,
was one scramble?
Yeah, that was scramble. Yeah, he did a good job with his legs. He's done that last year for us. So
I was just curious if any of that was designed at all.
No, I mean, we got down to whatever it was, the 10-yard line, and kind of went backwards and then snowballed. But some of it was designed, some of it was scramble.
Do circumstances prevent you from getting to some of the things you wanted to get to in that game?
Yeah, I'd say every game's different. Obviously, that one, we're putting that one to bed, getting ready for this week.
Dave, Dabs, how do you balance with the offensive line? Obviously there are things you can do. You can increase max protect and whatnot. But how do you balance wanting to help them versus wanting to play the game against the defensive opponent?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, Patty. So that's something when you're game planning. The more guys you in, the less guys you have out, the more coverage they play. So I think it's a balance between whether you're helping on a chip, getting 5 guys out, using a run action, getting the run game going a little bit. I think everything plays into that.
You went against Jonathan Gannon defense last year. How similar to what they're doing in Arizona look like what he did in Philly?
Yeah, there's some similarities. Yeah, different players, but I mean they got after it pretty good. Had a defensive touchdown, another interception, another fumble recovery. They turned the ball over. They're fast. Buda's you got to know where he's at. He's a really good player. I thought they played a really good game that first game against Washington. But there's some similarities. I'm sure they're going to add their own touches to it, as he runs his own team. But fast defense.
How do you approach this 2-game stretch with a guy like Wandale and him coming back?
Yep. Something we've talked about. We'll see how he does at practice. I thought he looked good at practice last week. We have I'd say an initial plan with Wandale, but we'll take it here day by day and see where he's at.
Sunday more likely this week than it was last week at this point?
I'd say there's a chance, but we're going to have to see how he does throughout the week and see where we're at.
The workout yesterday, did you like anything from those 2 guys?
Yeah, we had them in. They were returning and stuff like that, but at this point, we're not going to do anything.
Ryan, what do you do with, this is a long plane ride you're taking to Arizona, so when you have guys with hamstrings and stuff like that, is there any extra treatment they get on the flight to make sure that they don't stiffen up?
Yeah, I'd say our training staff, whatever they need, our training staff is going to do for them. Obviously hydration is important. It's warm. There's a long plane ride, but I'd say, again, sports science and our training staff do a good job of explaining things, going through whatever our players need to make sure that they can be at their optimal level.
You made a point of saying stick to the process with the way you do it. That in a sense takes an emotional component out of it. But do you also look for that emotion this week to see how the team responds emotionally?
Yeah, I think you look for emotion every week. But again, we believe in what we do and how we do it, and we got to go out there and prepare well and practice well and ultimately play well and coach well on Sunday.
Jordan asked about just what you've seen from the team as a whole, but what have you seen from the O-line group, like how they've processed?
Yeah, you try to be as consistent as you can. So you're not going to ride a roller coaster. Again, results terrible, but you're not going to ride a roller coaster. Not how we do things. We're going to be consistent with how we teach, how we practice, how we prepare, and try to do a better job.
Brian, with 2 games in 5 days, do you try to limit the work guys get on Sunday, or do you say we win Sunday and then we worry about Thursday?
Yeah, our focus is on Arizona. That's it.
Do you lean on Simmons' knowledge of the Cardinals at all?
Yeah, I think anytime you get players that are other places, you ask them stuff. But I've been in the league a long time. You ask them stuff, and you don't really. We got to take care of our business and make sure that we're prepared what we see. And if there's certain things we want to ask them, absolutely, whether it's a player or a scheme. You try to uncover every stone you can.
Dave, when you talk about believing in what you do and how you do it, when something happens like the other night, how difficult is that for the locker rooms, maybe some guys, maybe the younger guys, to adhere to that? And is that a message you have to drive?
I'd say, Mark, you don't talk about it the day after it happens. You start talking about it in April, in May, in training camp. You're going to go through stuff. Again, the results were, just put it, terrible, but you gotta move on quick in this business and get ready to play the next game. That's the one that counts.
Other than hydration, how do you prepare for 100 degrees?
You hydrate, and we're out here last week and practice outside and whatever it was, and whatever the conditions are, we got to do a good job of being ready and playing them. Both teams playing them.